Loopcast Reviews. As always, we're your hosts. I'm John, he's Carlos, and today we're going to be reviewing Fury 7. So the 7th installment of the Fast and the Furious series. Tell us who's in this one.
A whole lot of people. But the normal cast start off with Vin Diesel, Paul Walker, Jason Statham, Michelle Rodriguez, Jordana Brewster, Tyrese Gibson, Ludacris, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Lucas Black with the addition of Kurt Russell, and Natalia Emmanuel.
Yep, so we do have two new cast members in this one. You got the gorgeous lady that you just mentioned from Game of Thrones fame.
Yeah, and she was really good in this movie.
Yeah.
Both new additions I thought were spot on.
And then my favorite new addition is surprisingly Kurt Russell.
Knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, he was a good addition to this one. We'll get into that, but before we do, let's go ahead and roll the preview.
Shaw lives in a world that doesn't play by your rules. And like it or not, you and your friends are a part of it now.
I don't have friends. I got family. This time it ain't just about being fast.
Can somebody just walk me through what we supposed to be doing? Everybody get foolish. Put your hands in the air, let's do this. I got a lot of pounds, so I try to shit the house. Moving it in and out, hold it down like what's up now? What's up now? What's up now? What's up now? Hold it down like what's up now?
Welcome back, and let's get into this thing. What'd you think?
If I had one word to describe this last movie, Fast and the Furious franchise, it would be explosive.
Yeah, there are tons of explosions in this one for sure.
And right when you think there's no more explosions, explosion!
Yeah, so huge climax like in all traditional Hollywood blockbuster movies now, and they bring LA down almost.
Yeah, it seemed like half LA got blown up.
Essentially, yeah. My personal thoughts on it were a pretty good movie. It's a Fast and the Furious movie, so you kind of know what you're getting into. Explosions, fast cars, beautiful women, all mixed together up to make what this new installment is. So what do you think? What were some of the cool moments in it? What were some of the standouts?
I think you summed it up pretty well when you said Fast and the Furious. Now, 7th movie, if you don't know what to expect from this franchise, then something's wrong with you. Because it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, more action with each installment.
Yeah, for sure. They keep upping the ante, and you either are on board with it or you're not. I'm a big fan of mindless action movies, and that's essentially what this has turned into. I will applaud the creators of this movie for doing one thing that most other franchises don't, which is they switch up the formula. You know, Fast and Furious way back when started out just kind of as a pure racing movie.
Yeah, where it's all about the cars.
All about the cars, the women. You had that cops and robbers angle tossed into it. And then it morphed into, with later installments, different styles. You had a heist movie put in there.
My personal favorite.
Yeah, that's a good one. You had more emphasis on the whole family of the Fast and the Furious, which this one definitely caps off on, especially at the end.
I'd say this one was probably more action-oriented.
Yeah.
Fist-to-fist action, had a lot of cool stunts with cars and stuff. But
yeah, exactly. So back to my point, which was that this latest installment is basically like Mission Impossible meets Fast and the Furious, because that's what this movie is. It's basically a spy caper in the Fast and the Furious world.
Yeah, that's pretty much, that sums it up pretty well.
Yeah, so you got your international travels, you got your big set pieces where there's tons of actions, you got almost your spy versus spy type of action with the newest addition, their new villain, one of the Shaw brothers, played by
Jason Statham.
Yeah, so he's back. We're excited. Always a big fan of his, and he gets to play villain. So what do you think?
Like you said, a huge fan of him. like, he was an awesome. I thought he was a really good villain. Like, his introduction was probably one of the best villain
It
introductions
starts off
in the
pretty
Fast and
good.
Furious world. So, without giving any like major spoilers away, like the way he ends up taking down a major character,
Yeah.
pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, he has a great intro. So, any bad that you want to get into before we dive into?
Well, the only thing I could say bad is, as with like every other villain in the Fast and Furious franchise, they always kind of get pushed to the background. You don't really get to like get too many like cool character building moments. They introduce him in the beginning of the movie. You know his motivation, and that's pretty much it. That's that's what he's going around with the whole entire movie. I wish he had a little bit more like lines.
Yeah, little one-note character for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he was great.
All right, so yeah, let's dive right into the bad of it. What do you think? If you had to nitpick it, what would some of it be?
Well, like you were saying earlier when we were driving home from the movie theater, after a certain point, you're just kind of like, okay, I know what's going to happen. You know, the same thing's going to happen in the movie. He's going to show up. He's going to try and stop this. It's not going to work, and then blah, blah, blah. So it was a little bit one note.
Sure.
Until the end.
So, was it the right length for you? Was it too long, too short?
The movie was a little bit long, which I'm really surprised because I am a huge Fast and Furious fan. So the more Fast and Furious that you'll give me, usually I like. But I found that maybe it was about 20 minutes to half an hour, a little bit too long for me.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to end at one point, and it kind of just kept going and going and going. I was like, well, this movie's not going to end.
Yeah, so for me, like you said, it was a little long, not a bad long at all. But yeah, it did stretch out probably a little bit more than it needed to. But yeah, just to dive right into this, some of the bad stuff is, as you know, it's a Fast and Furious movie, so the laws of physics have been thrown out the window. So you do have some kind of logic stuff. Like, for example, they drive through not one building, not two buildings, but three buildings, and are able to kind of walk away from it like every action star out there.
Yeah.
Live to fight the bad guy another day. But you expect that in the Fast and Furious movies, and that's fine. But yeah, the biggest sour point for me was that you have the great actor to do your villain, and he's just one note. He's out for revenge, and that works if he's a little bit more mysterious than he was in this movie, because he pops up a bunch.
Yeah. Well, the way he started,
he's
was so good. That
starts
set
off
it up
perfect.
so well.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, he's gonna be so badass.
Yeah.
And then they describe him as like being a shadow.
He's not a shadow in this movie. He's just gonna pop up, throw hopefully some monkey wrenches in Dom's plan, and unfortunately, it doesn't work. He basically shows up to fail at being a bad guy.
Pretty much. I mean, that would be like the one down point, other than so many explosions. After a while, you're like, oh, an explosion.
Yeah. So just that one bad note, but yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff to like in this movie. What are some geeky-ish more moments in it for you as a fan?
You know, the overall look of the movie was really good. Like, it was really, like, it looked beautiful, but not in that fake, like, oh, super HD beautiful. It still had, like, a good, like, grain, like old school, like, film look to it.
Yeah.
Like,
so
especially
super clean.
Yeah. Especially when they travel around, like, the world.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty legit. Some cool moments for me as a fan. I know this is a black sheep of the series. A lot of fans kind of discard it, but I'm a decent fan of the Tokyo Drift.
I love Tokyo
And
Drift.
they finally tied it in with this movie, so we had to wait a whole bunch of movies in between, but we got the tie-in.
In fact, that would probably be my only, like, I loved going back to the Tokyo Drift world.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to see more Lucas Black.
Yes.
So
I
and
hope
more of that cast.
He comes back in to maybe join the team at some point with the next installment.
If there's an installment, which
yeah,
we all
so-
know there probably will be because this movie made so much money.
Yeah. So it was a huge blockbuster. So there's going to be a number 8. Sadly, Paul Walker, of course, is not going to be part of it because he has passed away. Which is one of the great moments of the movie where they really have this touching scene at the end, really focusing and thanking Paul for all his work. And
that being said, like I said, I'm a huge Fast and the Furious fan. I would be okay if they didn't make another movie just because of how this movie ended. I thought it was a perfect way to kind of wrap that up. I think one of the great things when you have this many movies is that you kind of get to grow up with the characters.
Yeah.
You kind of see them evolve. And the way they ended it, I thought that would be a pretty good, you know, fitting end for the franchise. Even though I do think they will make more, just because like so much money is made from these movies, and they can just keep going with all the different stories. They definitely set it up with the way it ended.
Yeah, so it's a great way to end, like you said, the series if it goes down that way, which we know it won't. But everything is capped off. Villains have been taken care of. Dom's family has been saved, and they can basically drive off in the sunset. And go anywhere with the story for number 8, which we'll see what they do. But yeah, so what would you give the movie?
Review.
Okay, Fast and the Furious 7. If you're a fan of the franchise, then you pretty much know what to expect. For me, I give this this movie a 3-star rating out of 5. It wasn't my favorite out of the franchise, but it did bring some pretty good new characters, and I really liked the way they ended the movie off. I feel like it could be an ending to the series as a whole, and I would be okay with that.
Alright guys, Fast and the Furious has been transformed into a spy movie. That is what you're getting with Furious 7. If you're a fan of the spy movies like your Mission Impossible, that's kind of what this is. Take Mission Impossible and the Furious franchise, mix it together, you get this movie. You get some cool spy versus spy shadowy organizations. You get your set pieces traveling all across the world, and you get your big villain stealing hacker created super weapon that they have to battle for. That being said, this series wraps up the whole franchise as a whole because the whole team gets to take down their villain and kind of drive off into the sunset. So if you're a fan of the series, it's definitely going to be great to see it up on the big screen. So go watch it. If you're not, it's not going to turn you into a fan because logic and physics have been set aside. But hey, that's what we love about these movies. Fast cars, pretty women, and your action stars, and you get plenty of that in this movie. So I give it 3 out of 5. Go watch it. Furious 7 does get the Blue Couch seal approval. So if you're a fan of the series, go watch it. It's a good one. As always, just keep it tuned in right here on Dream Destinations for your movie reviews needs. And if you want to leave us any comments or suggestions, do so, and we'll see what we can do for you. Alright, so we got big summer movies coming up, so we got plenty of reviews to do. Until then, though, we'll see you later. Goodbye.
Bye.